This is the fourth video. I'm currently in the process of marking up a 1/2 mil sheet of styrene for the door for the third wall. I may have explained earlier that this material is very easy to work with when thin, but as it gets thicker it's more difficult to cut and more strategies need to be put into place. And here's a prime example. Paper scissors, it's cutting through quite easily. Any thicker, which I think later on I'll be cutting thicker styrene, you'll actually watch me struggle and sand it and whatnot. With shaping and working with styrene, you can buy a variety of sheets and rods and almost any shape you desire. I'm actually working with a rectangular shape here, which would be the frame of the door. When you have the tools and the materials, the sky's the limit. If there's something you desire to build by using spare bits from other kits, raw styrene and other materials to work with like putty and metalwork for say, sky's the limit. You can build whatever you desire as long as you have the means to do it, the equipment to do it, and the stock to do it. And this build is a prime example of that. I'm measuring up the pieces I need with a ruler, marking it, and you see me use a saw to actually cut the pieces. Fine tooth modelling saw. It's the Citadel version they use for Games Workshop. It cuts soft metal as well, so it's a pretty good candidate. Not too expensive. And the Citadel Vice. And yeah, you can see me tearing through this like it's nothing. It's very clean cut, very skinny blade, doesn't remove a lot of plastic. It's pretty good. At this stage I'll be gluing the actual rectangular pieces together. Not too... this is the second door. So yeah, it's the extra thin cement, all being styrene. You just use the same cement for kits, wob it right onto there, and away you go, you know, it's finished. Though you're going to have quite a few gaps and whatnot, and you'll see me actually fill seam lines. Not only your kit will have seam lines when you're putting pieces together, when you're scratch building and converting, because it's not meant to happen. The seam lines are a lot more harsh and a lot more work is actually required. Here's the first piece of the door. I cut the two pieces in half so you could actually see the gap of the actual door in the doorway instead of just having the one block. It's self-explanatory. The line across the bottom of it is where the floor meets the plastic, and of course that cutout that you saw me cut earlier. Now I'm using the regular cement to adhere the actual thicker rods to the thicker plastic for a stronger bond. You see, not too difficult at all. Almost child's craft. I mean, this was too easy for me. I was able to do it on camera. Nobody does not have an excuse to have a go at scratch building something unless they really don't want to. It's just too easy. You've already got a basic door shape right there, and I assume you've all seen the finished product. Too good. Now that's in place how it looks, and with the other bits and pieces, that's the basic shape I'm going for. Model kit for size comparison. Now this is the thicker piece of plastic. You're going to see me struggle with this. I think it's 1 mil, and I was cutting 2 mil before with an actual saw, so yeah, hard shit. It actually hurts the hand quite a bit as well, which you may or may not see in the footage. You could easily re-straighten the plastic and clean up the ends and whatnot, but probably need to use like one of those kitchen snips or something they use to chop up charcoal chickens or whatnot. That'd probably do a lot of it, more of an easier job. This is a larger rectangular or a square piece. That'll probably be used for the top. Just a little bit of added detail. I'm adding this wall to the very detailed Kotobukiya base, so I sort of need to do something equally on the third wall to, you know, make it look like it's in place. I think it is a tad crooked, the actual job I did. Possibly not the best, but once I painted it up and kneaded it up and puttied it up, it looks fairly effective in person. Maybe it's the camera angle or something, I'm not too sure, but she ain't too bad of a job. You could always do better. So this is my texture layer, you know, your I-beams and whatnot that you'll see in your workshops or your hangers. And then later on I go to pulling other pieces out of the actual Kotobukiya kit and random aftermarket pieces I have to this surface, and yeah, you've got a detailed surface. I just did as I pleased. All glued together with Tamiya cement. The Kotobukiya plastic has no problem gluing to standard styrene, but it does struggle on gluing its own surfaces together. Which, again, I'll constantly remind you guys I'm not impressed with. There's another skinny rod, if you can see it or not, just as an extra piece of texture or detailing. The black line you'll see on the left hand side is just a margin of, again, where the wall meets the actual piece, so I don't have to glue too much detail, or the detail's not overlapping to where it's going to connect in and leave a huge ass gap. So it all fits in perfectly. As you can probably see me trimming it right now. And there you go. This hairy bastard just modelled a wall. What do you know? There she is. And there it is with the Kotobukiya base. The extra piece is glued on. And because of the top bit of the walls interfering with this scaffold, I have to trim it a bit so it fits perfectly and nice. Had of an unexpected setback, but nothing too hard that you can't deal with the appropriate tools. I advise you at this point I do have my hair cut, tied back. You don't want to get your hair jammed in one of those tools.